Not many people have basements in California.
I do.
What makes this scene so good? David Fincher's Zodiac is one of my favourite films of all time. It's a thrilling, terrifying, and all-around excellent story of a man that lost the better part of his 30s trying to chase down one of the world's most famous serial killers. And this part here, better dubbed the basement scene, is the greatest culmination of what this film has to offer, and it's all down to the editing. The scene is terrifying. From the perspective of our protagonist Robert, it looks like he's just fallen into the greatest trap the Zodiac could have placed for him, as he walks into a deep dark basement with no means of getting out.
Are you sure there's nobody else in the house?
The editing is meticulously crafted to play into the anxieties that Robert could have during this scene by sticking with his perspective. For example, every single shot of Vaughn will loom and linger for a minute to show that Robert's not taking his eyes off him, but while that happens, something else is looming from the background.
You live alone?
To keep the intensity of this scene as high as it is, then you need to remain within the perspective of Robert. For example, here, with this audio cue of the floorboards above, the camera remains on focus of said floorboards to keep the audience in tune with what they should be expecting, to know what would come next, to know what's going to happen, or at least make them think what's going to happen. Remember this clip from earlier? Here's a refresher.
Are you sure there's nobody else in the house? Would you like to go upstairs and check?
The second time round, the camera does not pan up top. It's almost like the audio and the visuals are having a disagreement. Is there really someone up there? Or is it just his own anxiety? Is it just fear? Is it all in his head? Or is he genuinely in real danger and there's something being hidden? We don't know, and that makes the scene far more terrifying as a result. The editing works masterfully here. It's important to note that this is not the only example of audio being used to stir up fear within the movie as a possible hallucination.
Who's there?
But this scene's trickery in the senses is what keeps it in the discussion for possibly the most terrifying scene outside of a horror project. With the more liberal use of cutting at the end of the movie as Graysmith manages to somewhat escape the house even by the permission of the other man, it really elevates it to feel more of adrenaline rather than anxiety as he leaves. In conclusion, this is an expertly crafted and edited scene that really focuses on immersion and fear over all else, making this one of the best scenes I've seen in a very, very long time.
Good night, Mr. Graysmith.